So many people think midlife means crisis, and I'm here to tell you that it is not a crisis. In fact, it's a perfect time for reinvention. And today I'm going to tell you why. So I'm Julie Waas. I'm the host of Midlife Unleashed with Julie Waas. I'm a lawyer, I'm a coach, I'm an artist, I'm a speaker, and I'm an author. Now, you might ask yourself, how does she do all this? Well, guess what? I did most of those things except for lawyer after midlife. So that's why I am so excited to share with you why midlife is not a time of crisis. It's the perfect time for reinvention. So let's get started. Why do you think people think midlife is a crisis? Well, I'm here to tell you it's because you're probably been doing either the same thing in the job for 3 or 4 decades, and maybe spending that time focusing on climbing up the corporate ladder or getting promotions or moving from job to job. And you get to a point you were like, well, is this all? And that may be if you don't have kids or if you have kids. Now, if you have kids, now I have 3 grown sons, and I know I spent the first few decades of my life when they were growing up is focusing on them because of course that's what I wanted to do. That's what I needed to do. They needed me. And it was my joy at the time. And of course, I spent that time focusing on them, taking them where they needed to go, doing what they needed to do, and not thinking about what I needed, except for the fact that I was working my day job as a lawyer. So it got to the point where when they left the house, I suddenly had like an open road in front of me. And that's what midlife is that open road. But backed behind the open road is the incredible wisdom that you've accumulated during your earlier life. And now it's time to think about, well, what do I want to do next? Sitting on the couch and just watching endless TV was not my idea of what I wanted to do next. No, in fact, I saw this as, wow, now I have the time to take classes, to start exercising, to start doing the things that maybe I'd always wanted to do or try. And that's where reinvention comes in. You get the chance to reinvent yourself. You get to take all that accumulated wisdom that you've acquired over the first, 40, 50 years of your life and now apply it to something new. And yes, you can do it. So I'll tell you what, after my kids left the house, I thought about it. What do I want to do? And I realized, I hadn't been exercising really intently the way I wanted to, and I'd always liked running. So I decided to sign up for a course on how to run a 10K, or not a 10K, a half marathon. And lo and behold, in 2017, I ran my first half marathon in Miami. And then in 2018, I ran another one. And I've run numerous 10Ks since then. Unfortunately, I had to give up running because of a medical issue. But now I spend every single day on my Peloton bike and taking strength classes, and I love it. And these are things that I never had the time to do when my kids were growing up. So that's one example. My other example is art. I'd always been doodling my whole life and drawing. I never took any kind of art class. Well, I've started with taking pottery classes and I really enjoyed that. And then I kept drawing and I decided to buy some paint pens and some art paper and make some of my drawings on art paper. And after that, my husband encouraged me to start selling them because he was like, oh, these are pretty good. And since then, and that was in October of 2021, I've exhibited my art in galleries in New York, in London, in Madrid. There's one going on right now in Madrid, and Innsbruck and Miami. It's been a crazy ride. It's been wonderful. It's very exciting. Yeah, I'm not going to retire on my art, I can assure you, but just the fact that I've had these experiences have been amazing. And then I recently wrote my midlife morning journal, which is Unstoppable Mornings. You can see it in the background here. It's kind of in reverse because it's the mirror image. But that talks about my morning routines, which if you caught my last episode, I did talk about my morning habits. So those are just examples of how you can reinvent yourself at midlife. So if you stick with me and you keep watching Midlife Unleashed, I will talk more and more about different habits, different strategies that you can use to determine what do I want to do with the rest of my life? How do I want to make the rest of my life the best life possible? Because that's what we're here to do, that we're given one life. So why not make it the best life possible? So subscribe to Midlife Unleashed, please. You can grab your free reinvention blueprint, which is a free guide that I put out that will help you go through some steps to figure out what you want to do to reinvent yourself for the second half of your life. And you can see that you can catch that in the description. And and if you know anybody who might benefit from watching this video or subscribing to Midlife Unleashed, please share this video with them. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Now, don't forget, subscribe to Midlife Unleashed, and let's get started creating your next chapter with clarity and confidence.